I really want you to notice the plant in the background. I don't think it's really obvious though, but I need you to know that it's there because I'm very proud of my houseplants right now. Hello. So I decided that I wanted to do something a little bit different in this video than I've been doing in more recent videos. If you're familiar with my channel, you may have noticed that I've been kind of trying to push the boat out a little bit with my video making recently. I've been trying to improve my video creating skills. I've been wanting to create kind of consistently better content, but it kind of has been making me feel a little bit disjointed from, I don't know, just from my roots or something with my video making. I'm still a really big fan of the sort of back in the day, very kind of lo-fi YouTube videos where people literally just stuck on a webcam and started talking, and I still like a bit of that. I still love a good kind of chatty, get ready with me type video, so I just thought I would do something a little bit like that for a change, just to mix it up a bit, because I think I feel a bit more disconnected from you guys when I create videos that are a lot more kind of, maybe a little bit more formal or a little bit more didactic. So I wanted this to be kind of free-flowing and chatty and just talking about what's on my mind and what's going on with me and so on. So I'm drinking some tea. I never brought any of my nice mugs with me to Edinburgh, sadly, so this is just a very boring IKEA mug that was already in the flat when I moved in here. I'm drinking a puka blend called Wild Apple and Cinnamon with ginger. I'm apparently having trouble pronouncing my words today, and yeah, apologies for my nails as well. I have been meaning to repaint them for about a week. So there are changes happening in my life that I have kind of alluded to a little bit in kind of past months. The change, I would say the biggest change that is kind of, I feel like I can now make official, that I can kind of announce on the channel, and I have mentioned it in a few videos, is that I am going to be moving back to Dublin in September. And the reason that I am doing this is because I decided to start unofficially working on my PhD part-time. It's unofficial for a whole host of reasons you don't need to know about, but the end result is the same as me actually going part-time with the PhD. It means that I'm kind of now working on my PhD maybe 2 days a week, 3 at most, and yeah, I'm really trying to restrict it into kind of 2 good solid days of like really focused, dedicated PhD work. You know, other admin stuff and meetings and stuff tend to pop up outside of that, and sometimes I'll need to do a longer week if I'm trying to, you know, meet a deadline, but that's how I've been working pretty much since the beginning of March. And honestly, I have never been happier, I don't think. Like, I have seriously been going through a phase in my life where I feel just so much more excited about life and so much more optimistic and energetic and just positive in general. I think making this decision, I could not have made a better decision for myself, basically. So it's kind of a combination of things. Going part-time and having more time to do other things, and then also I think just the prospect of moving back to Ireland has me really excited as well. Don't get me wrong, I love Edinburgh, I love Scotland, I have loved living here, and I have some amazing friends here, really, really amazing friends, and it's going to break my heart to not be able to see them so often. It really, really is, especially my closest friends here. They are like family, and they will always be like family to me, and that is tragic. But ultimately, many of them, if not all of them, will eventually move away from Edinburgh. They're not here to stay. They are kind of also in liminal portions of their lives. A lot of them, they're, you know, in college, they're doing PhDs, they have academic careers, so their jobs might just take them away, or will almost certainly take them away at some point. So it's never felt like a permanent home for me in that sense. That even the family that I've built up here around myself, all of them are pretty much liminal. Yeah, I'm kind of done with Edinburgh, and I think in a way, I feel like I overstayed my welcome in a weird way. I feel like I've never been completely convinced that doing the PhD was the right thing for me to do. And I felt a little bit like maybe deciding to just be here for a year would have been a better choice for me. But I've got into this point now where I'm feeling more excited about the work that I'm doing. I'm feeling like there's going to be a lot of value to it. I'm going to be proud of the work that I produce at the end, and this project wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for sticking it through and doing the PhD and completing it, which I hope to do in about a year's time. So I'm more at peace with that now, and I'm more at peace with the fact that I spent more years here. It meant that I made some other close friends that I wouldn't have made if I didn't stay. So I think now I've kind of come to terms with the fact that I have been here as long as I have, but, you know, and I'm very excited to spend the next 4 months here. But at the same time, I'm just done. I'm ready to go back to Ireland. I'm ready to start my life there. I'm ready to build a life for myself and settle into my home, which will be kind of my forever home. I hope to do more traveling in future. I'm not going to be like stuck there forever or anything, but it will very much be my forever home that I'm moving into. I am moving into basically my childhood home. My parents, you may or may not know, they own 2 houses and they mostly spend their time on the west coast of Ireland these days. And so the house that they own is in Dublin, is largely unoccupied. Not completely, they come and go, and it will always be their home too. I want to say primarily, but we're trying to move more towards seeing it primarily as being my home. So I'm going to be moving in there. It's going to require a lot of renovation down the line, and that's a project that I'm going to be taking on. It's going to be my responsibility to renovate the home, look after it, do all the work to the house that needs to be done. But I'm really, really excited to do that. It's going to be a huge project when it does hit, which won't be for another maybe 2 years or more, but I'm just really excited for that. I've made this decision now, and it feels like the right thing for me at this time in my life to just take on this responsibility, really, to step up to the plate. I always knew that I would inherit that house, or those houses, and that I may move in there. I mean, I'd always kind of planned to move in there, I think, while my parents were still alive, like maybe once they started to get a bit older, and that we could kind of cohabit at least part of the time. But I saw it as something that was further down the line in my future. I think maybe more 10 years on from where I'm at now. I imagine that I would be renting for much longer and living in different places maybe, or just renting even in Dublin. But I think in my head it was something that would happen when I would have kids and when I'd be ready to settle down. But I've just, since turning 30, something has really switched in my brain, and I've become a lot clearer on what it is that I want out of life, and what I want to do with myself, and what's important to me, and where I want to be. And it's really become increasingly apparent to me that I do want to be in Ireland. I do want to return to Dublin. That will always be my true home, and I'm excited to go back and start laying roots there and start making new friends as well as rekindling old friendships. And it just feels like absolutely the right thing for me to do at this point in my life. So I'm really excited. I will try and take you along on that journey as much as possible when I am moving into the house. Obviously, I'm going to have to make some decisions with regard to security and not showing you the whole house and stuff like that, just so that you can't, you know, just to keep myself safe, so the house can't be readily identified and that kind of thing. But I do hope to maybe share with you a little bit of the renovations. I'm going to be doing like minor renovations when I first move in to make the place comfortable for myself and that kind of thing. And I really do hope to be able to bring you along in that journey, and then hopefully the larger renovations down the line as well. And yeah, I'm really excited and curious to see what that next phase of my life is going to be. It's going to be very, very different and scary, but good. It's going to be good. So that's been really taking up a lot of my headspace, I guess, in recent times, but I have been very, very busy with other projects and other things going on too. And because the major reason really, so okay, there's been kind of a mix of reasons as to why I've gone part-time with the PhD. Originally I was going to kind of finish it as quickly as possible and move back to Ireland, and then I realised that I really don't need to do that because I don't want a career in academia at this point, and so there's no rush for me with finishing the PhD. There's nothing that I can't start before it's done. And I realised that I really, really do want to put my all into going towards self-employment, into writing non-fiction and creating content, and hopefully offering services in the near future related to the content that I offer you on this channel, and offering all of this as Anya Orga essentially. And that has become really kind of clarified in my mind that that is really the direction I want to go, and that I want to do that soon. And I really want to stop putting off doing all of that until I finish the PhD. I really lost something of myself while living here in Edinburgh and while taking on this PhD and just while finding my feet here, I really lost a lot of what I'd found of myself. I've said this again and again, but I found myself, I feel, when I lived by myself in Dublin before I moved here, and I don't know, I feel like this was a really important life lesson for me to learn, like that I needed to go through this experience of kind of losing myself in my 20s to realize just the value of everything that I had gained and worked for and worked towards in my kind of early to mid 20s. And so that I've now launched into my 30s with a very, very clear idea of what it's like to lose that, and to lose that clarity, and to lose those habits, and just to lose sight of what's important to me and what it is that I want to be working towards, and just what kind of person I want to be, I suppose, as well. And basically I have essentially gone part-time with the PhD so that I can start taking steps and focusing a lot more of my energy on creating the content that I want to create. So I'm taking baby steps. My first step has been to try and become more consistent on this channel. And that hopefully you have noticed, hopefully you've seen that I'm now just creating videos every week, and there's no question in my mind about doing that. But gradually I do want to start building back up consistency in other areas as well. And I'm trying to just take it slowly and kind of get one habit back at a time and build that up gradually, figuring out exactly what it is that I want to say and how I want to say it and what kind of content I want to be making and that kind of thing. But I'm working on a reboot of the website, which I'm going to be putting up soon, because apparently I'm incapable of rethinking how I'm creating my content online without creating a new website. It's just what I seem to do. And I feel like the website that I created while I was here in Edinburgh, I associated with that kind of bleak time of not really creating any content online, of not really interacting with the spiritual community online, and just feeling like I'd lost myself. So it feels really important for me at this time to make a new website and have that ready and going before I kind of get back into writing ebooks and writing blog posts, writing the newsletter. I haven't forgotten you, newsletter subscribers. I have not forgotten you. I am going to email you soon, but I'm just giving myself this space and time to work up to it gradually, because I don't want to take on so much all at once that I end up not being able to be consistent with it. I want to build up the consistent habits over time so that I can demonstrate to you, like, yes, this is something that you can rely on me to keep doing. And for myself more than anything else, to just build up that sense of belief and respect in myself that if I take something on, then I'm going to see it through. So I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited with the direction that this channel, I feel like I've got a slight better handle now on what kind of videos I want to be making, what I want to be talking about, and I'm hoping that that's going to continue to clarify over time, and that I can explore new types of videos, slightly different types of videos and things like that. And I hope that you will have patience with me while I figure that out too. But I'm really excited to get writing again. I'm really excited then also to start taking on clients or offering services, and that's something I've been talking about on and off for years now, but it is something that I'm feeling really ready to do, offering some kind of mentoring service, just a way of interacting with you one-on-one to answer your questions and help guide you in your endeavours to create a spiritual life for yourselves, or just to kind of live alongside your spirituality, and offer just a bit of a guiding hand, a helping hand from somebody who has just also gone through this, who has also had to create this spiritual life from the ground up, and who has struggled over many years to figure out, you know, what my priorities are, how to live this life, and how to be kind of spiritual or religious without being in a traditional religious institution, without having authority figures telling me what I should and shouldn't be doing, and how to live my life and how to live right by God and all of that kind of thing. I feel like it's very useful to have people in the community. I know that I have looked up to many individuals, a particular handful in particular, who have been just so inspirational to me and just so formative in my development as a spiritual person. I find a lot of value in that, and it just means the world to me to think that I can offer something like that back to the community as well. So yeah, I love creating content for, you know, people en masse, but I love the idea, and I used to love working with people one-on-one. I used to do that mostly through tarot readings, and I would really like to get back to doing that, because I found that to be a very, very satisfying way to connect with people on a more individual basis. And we could really get into the nitty-gritty of things. And yeah, I really, really did enjoy that sense of connection that is kind of difficult just via social media or via comments and so on. So yeah, I just kind of feel like I'm in this phase of change and newness right now, but also like a weird phase of not stagnation, but like kind of this liminal phase where I'm like waiting to gathering strength, like gathering like a wave in order to take on the next steps. And it's a very strange place to be in. It's every time I go back to Ireland these days, and I've been going back and forth a lot to bring over bags of stuff each time, and just for various other reasons as well, because I'm really starting to connect more with people back in Ireland and to really kind of reintegrate myself into that life gradually as well, so it's not such a like a shock when I get back there in September. So yeah, I've been doing that a lot as well, but like, so I feel like I'm kind of caught between my life there, my life here, and every time I come back here it feels a bit strange to be here, like I've already moved home but I haven't, and it's in this very kind of weird liminal phase. And being single as well has a lot to do with this, I think. I feel like I'm in this stage of life right now where I can be quite selfish and focus on myself and take the time and do whatever it is that I need to do to set up my life the way that I want it to be, and I really don't have to take another person, like a partner's life choices into consideration at all, which is it really has been liberating. I mean, I'm not saying like my previous relationship was absolutely not restrictive for me in that way, and actually, you know, our ultimate long-term plan looked very similar to what I'm actually doing now. Like, we did plan to go back to Dublin eventually, but I've been finding a lot of value in remaining single, in not searching for a long-term partner right now, or even a short-term partner. I was seeing somebody short-term for a while, and you know, that was nice while it lasted, but I'm very, very happy right now to be, you know, a single bunny, to be going through life just, I don't know, being social when I choose to be, and having a lot of alone time, and really getting comfortable with that. And I feel like it's really strengthening me as a person and giving me so much space and time to think about my creative projects and to just really strengthen and, like I say, build like a wave. Like, I'm just preparing to do something serious, and really starting to take action as well, which is really, really exciting. There's so much going on in my life that I feel like I could make videos on with regards to this kind of phase in my life, and I'm not sure, I haven't been able to decide on anything of the more personal nature to actually make a video that might be helpful, especially considering the usual content on my channel. But if any of this resonates with you and you'd like to hear more about it, even if it is something relatively personal, I'm certainly willing to consider talking about what's going on in my personal life to an extent, if it's relevant, if it's helpful, if it's something that you're interested in. But that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm in this very kind of relatively solitary, while at the same time I'm making sure to kind of appreciate my friends and spend a lot of time with them while I can as well, you know, like go to parties, go nights out, meet up with people, and I'm really trying to focus on the people that I value the most over here, and that kind of thing as well. And like I say, going back and forth to Ireland a lot, but it's it just feels like, you know, it feels kind of like a dark moon, dark goddess kind of phase, I think, in the way that a lot of people have talked about. It doesn't feel, it's not painful in the way that a lot of people associate those times. I don't feel like anything's been ripped away from me. I'm not feeling like I'm recovering in any way. Well, I suppose maybe I am recovering in the sense that I feel like I lost myself, as I said, and I'm still recovering from that. I'm recovering from a period of really high stress. And I think a lot of that stress was created not just from the PhD, but from that sense of just knowing that I was somehow on the wrong track, and knowing that I had lost myself somewhere, and knowing that just things were not quite right in my life. And it has been a very gradual recovery of about 3 years really to get myself to this point, well, 2.5 years anyway, to get myself to this point of feeling strong again. I think initially when I became single, aged 29, was I 29? Yeah, I would have been 29. I lost all track of time now. I think becoming single age 29 was a bit of a jolt. Initially, honestly, it was a bit scary, and I was a lot more a lot more sort of, or I became quite quickly after about, you know, within the first 6 months, a lot more kind of, oh, I want to find a life partner, you know. I was very willing to say like, yeah, I'm looking for something serious now, and I felt like time was short. I felt like the clock was ticking, and I was, maybe not even so much that, but just that I was frustrated. I was frustrated to be at this point and be single. I was frustrated that I had thrown myself into a relationship that had so much potential and was so wonderful in so many ways, but ultimately wasn't quite right for us. And I was just frustrated to find myself in a situation that I hadn't anticipated, that I hadn't expected for myself turning 30. And I think, yeah, initially I was a bit too concerned about the fact that this had happened and beating myself up about it in some way. And I think though, after those first kind of 6 months passed, and especially after the first, yeah, it really didn't take me that long. Certainly after the first kind of 9 months, I really started to realize how much of a blessing it is for me right now to be in this position, and how much I am learning about myself, and I think how much of a stronger person I'm going to be for having had this period, quite a fairly long stretch of time of being predominantly completely single. Because it's just giving me so much quality time with myself. And it's not to say, like, I'm absolutely not blaming my kind of losing myself on my previous relationship either. I want to make that really clear. That all started when I was still single the last time. So definitely not blaming it on that, but I think somehow having another person close to me all the time, like close in an emotional sense as well as a physical sense, I think made it a little bit harder to like locate where the problem was and sort out, you know, what exactly was wrong. What on earth was I saying? I've no idea. I have no idea what I'm talking about, guys, but I think I just really want to, I really can't overstate just how much peace I'm finding in where I'm at right now, and how I do feel like having alone time is really playing into that. And I'm not saying that you can't do this if you're not single, like absolutely not. And if you're the kind of person who's constantly surrounded by other people even, it's not that you can't make time for yourself and find yourself and figure out your direction in life and that kind of thing. It's just that I think for me, this is what I needed, and it's been very valuable to me, and I'm just so, I've never been so happy and content in a liminal period of time. Like normally I actually loathe uncertainty. I loathe the in-between phases. I hate those times in life when I'm like anticipating a change and I just want to get there. I want it to happen already. I want to start. And honestly, I'm not in that rush right now, because having that new start is going to mean leaving this country. And while I'm excited to do that, I'm very, very happy to have these months to wind down and spend here and enjoy here and appreciate this city and these people and this experience and do that right. So, and then also I'm no longer in this big rush to like find my life partner or whatever. I've completely changed my mentality on that now. I think I'm like it's just not the way I'm thinking about things anymore. I'm very open to meeting whomever, whenever, for however long. You know, things don't have to be forever. Things never are forever anyway. And I think I've just cultivated a much healthier attitude towards all of that. I know, just a more, I don't know. I feel like I've just become much better at living in the present and not constantly worrying about how unhappy I might be in 5 years if I haven't X, Y, Z. And like, realistically, I've no idea. I can't. There's no point in me worrying too much about what my life is going to look like in 5 years' time. I'm much better off just being in the now. And the truth of the matter is that, yeah, I'm 30 and I'm single, and I don't think I've ever been as happy and content with my life and as excited and productive and feeling creative and a lot of kind of spiritual flow and contentedness as well than I do right now in this period of my life since about kind of the end of March. So yeah, it's nice to be giving you kind of a positive update. I feel like it's been a long time of turmoil for me on and off. I've had upswings, but I don't think I felt really settled in myself for a very, very long time. And it's nice to be able to kind of give you a very positive update and to share these changes. So I think I'm going to cut it off there because I'm going to have to edit this video a lot down probably anyway, so it's not just like rambly and incoherent. But I hope you enjoyed this format. If you did, please like the video. Like I say, feedback really helps me know what you're enjoying and, you know, if you would like to see more of this kind of thing. And please do, you know, join in the conversation in the comments below. I have been endeavouring to actually, you know, respond to the comments as much as possible lately. I'm going to be keeping that up from now on. It's actually in my diary now. I actually have a time of the week where I do YouTube admin, so you can rely on me. I'm not going to just disappear again after a couple of weeks, I promise. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed having a bit of tea time and a bit of relaxed chat, and I will probably make more of these in the future. Not too many, because, you know, it's going to get boring for you if I make too many just random rambly chatty videos. But yeah, thanks a million for watching. Thanks a million for being a subscriber if you are, and, you know, think about subscribing if you haven't already. And I, as always, will talk to you again soon.